I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We are here in Toronto at the Metals Investor Forum ahead of PDAC, and I'm joined by Martin Pawlitschek of Sanu Gold. And Sanu is a new participant at the Metals Investor Forum, so thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us here, Gwen. Yes, our first time, so we're very excited about that.
Cool. So let's sort of lay the land of Sanu Gold for those who aren't familiar with the company. I mean, Guinea is the focus, 3 projects, but you have a fair bit of experience, not in Guinea, but in West Africa. So do you want to talk about how you, like the approach to exploration that you're taking? Obviously, this is grounded in the experience that you have, how you have laid out, you've come up with a lot of targets on your ground. So how did you get to the point that you are now?
Okay, so thanks for that. We only listed back in July last year, but we've actually been working on the ground since late 2021.
Right.
And actually on the deal, I've been working since early 2020. We secured the ground after an unsuccessful application for our own ground in Senegal. We reviewed over 40 properties across West Africa, not just in Guinea.
Okay.
And none of them really fit the bill. They were usually either too demanding or had not enough data, not enough interest geologically. And we came across these 3 sets of permits, all basically controlled by one person,
right,
who was very pragmatic commercially, quite open to an earn-in structure, and not expecting millions up front. And he had actually invested some of his own money to define some very nice gold trends. So that gave us enough confidence that we can work with this.
Okay.
And then secured a deal with our partner, Sheikh Traore, and started working quite extensively, completing the surface geochem coverage. We've got now over 16,000 samples collected, and those define very attractive, extensive, solid surface gold anomalies.
Right.
And with the help of some seed funding we got out of Vancouver early on, we then did the fundraising, pre-listing actually, we could access some of that money and started very aggressively delineating the bedrock sources, the bedrock structures where this gold that we're seeing at surface, where that's leaking from. So we did that with auger drilling. It drills just through the laterite cover to then sample the bedrock and identify where's the gold-bearing structure. So we've done over 37,000 meters of auger drilling now across the 3 properties. And that really is what produced these beautiful, extensive gold trends that we need to now drill test more systematically. We did our first program last year. It was relatively small, mainly just tested a small part of one 4-kilometer long trend.
But you can still characterize it as a success, even though it was a small program.
Yes, it was a discovery, absolutely. Yeah, some very good numbers came out of that with good widths. 4.5 grams over almost 20 meters, right, one of them. And so that is just really a small segment of a 4-kilometer structure that we tested. So we're looking forward to following up on that starting in March.
So now over the course of 2023, you have your eye on doing 25,000 meters of RC drilling. And that's because you have all of these trends and targets, and you just need to really get a better sense of where the needles are in those nice looking haystacks. That's not the greatest analogy, but I just went with it.
In these very extensive gold structures, yes. They're leaking gold. And if you look at the neighboring mines, they have very similar setups. They're very big, extensive gold structures, but the economic portions they're like pearls along a trend, along a string. You can't expect the whole massive trend to be economic, but if you do the work systematically, you'll hone in on the resource pieces. And we're at that stage basically, so we fully expect to get some certainly good drill intercepts, and then with another round of follow-up, we should be in a position where we can then decide where to do some resource drilling.
Do you, amongst the targets, have 1 or 2 that you really like? And if so, like what do they look like, and what do you like about them?
Yes. Okay.
Choose a child.
Yes. Okay. So that is a tough one, but okay, there's 2, and the main property is actually Bantabai. That's our flagship property. We didn't start drilling there because last year when we came out with the listing, it was the middle of the wet season. The other 2 properties, it's very easy to work in the wet season, more difficult at Bantabai. Why do I like Bantabai so much? It's on the western margin of the Siguiri Basin. So it's tectonically in a similar setting to that other very big discovery that was made by the Australian junior, PDI.
And that's
now at 4.5 million ounces.
exact 4.5 million ounces. And the share and the value of the company went from sort of 4 million to 400 million in 2.5 years because of that discovery.
Absolutely, yeah. So tremendous success, it's a success story. So they're also on the margin of the basin, and we are. I mean, that's the similarity. And what's interesting about the margin of the basin is you have very different structural orientations that intersect one another. You have a greater diversity of lithologies. You have felsic volcanics, mafic volcanics, metasediments, felsic intrusions. So all that creates a beautiful environment to develop sites for big and potentially higher grade deposits to form. Our geochem footprint is very high. We have these east-west trending, shallow south-dipping thrust faults with beautifully structured exposures.
Yeah.
All yielding nice high-grade rock chip results, intersected by northeast and northwest structures. There's artisanal small-scale mining along them, and big geochem footprints as well. They're intersecting, so none of it ever drill tested.
Right.
It's
basically
big targets,
all the characteristics that you would want to have, like all just come together
all
there.
coming together nicely and needs to be drill tested. So, and fairly systematically, because there's a lot of them, and not all of them are going to be the big one, but one or two of them I fully expect to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then maybe you can be the next predictive.
We are in it for that.
That is the reason. That is the reason to be there.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to following up on this 25,000 meters of drilling this year. I mean, odds are, may the odds be ever in your favor.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Gwen.